like you get.
That's why you buy these, Slam. You know, it's just
Don't do that. That's disgusting.
Get out of here. That's gross.
God, that's so gross, dude.
This was white when I bought it. Spooky season is upon us, and we have to talk about some games that you should totally be playing this season. So we brought the whole group together to chat on this episode about what spooky games you could enjoy during October, maybe November, depending on how long you like the vibe. And we're very excited to get into it. But before we dive into all of the epic spooky games that you should check out, Tay, how's it going, man? Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back. Just still working on the apartment, working on videos, doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah, good to be back.
You also have to tell us about your costumes. We are fully in costume, so everybody's going to have to give a little explanation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, mine is Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
one of the best turtles. Arguably the best turtle. Some would say. Unless you're
playing,
us
know in the comments if it's truly the best turtle.
That's going to cause
unless you're playing the video games,
sure.
in which case people would always say Donatello, but you know.
Oh, I'd always say Leonardo because I'm a sucker for swords and blue.
Yeah. Hard to argue.
Yeah. Sweet, dude. What are you playing these days?
Oh man, a little bit of everything. I mean, I didn't finish Tactics for my review, but I've beat that game a million times. So it was more about what was in the remaster, but I've been playing that. Man, that's good. Oof.
Yeah.
It's so freaking good, dude.
It's so good. But you know what's weird is I don't know if you guys have picked up on this anywhere. There's a weird amount of salt with that game. Like people are like, oh, they took the War of the Lions jobs out and it's lazy. And I put out this tweet that went like bananas. Like people were replying to it. Like this one guy was like, yeah, it's a lazy port. It's basically the same game. And I was like, tell me you haven't played the game without telling me you haven't played the game. And I listed out like 21 new things. And it's like, come on,
yeah,
dude.
I saw that.
I did too. Yeah. I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm working on... I rolled credits on that game and I was almost in tears. Like it was just so freaking good. And I'm working on my video on it right now. And most of my video is just structured on what did they change. Initially, I was just going to like talk about what they changed and then like do the video a little bit differently. But as I was like getting into it, I was like, what they changed is a video in and of itself. So I'm kind of like structuring it like this. Not only is this what they changed, but like it impacted my entire experience. So by the time I get to answering the question of like which one is the definitive way to play, because I kind of started off that way, I'm like, everybody's talking about what they took away, but like, why isn't anybody talking about how much they added? Like this is unbelievable what they changed in this game. So I'm spoilers, I guess, for my video. I am very, very happy with the Evil East Chronicles, and I think it is definitively the best way to play Tactics, especially if you've not played it before.
100%. I mean, there's some silly things that like when people look at it, they're like, that was not in the original. Like in the original, you couldn't see where you were placing your troops on the battlefield. And at the time you're just like, oh, okay, that's just how it is. But now basically every strategy RPG lets you see where you're putting your troops. So the fact that they added that was like huge. And then the voice acting adds so much to this, like, experience and the immersion. Like it's incredible. But it's like, I think it's the little things like letting you skip the random battles. Like that used to be so annoying when you're trying to get from one side of the map and then you had to just sit there and do these random fights that are like brainless and easy. And so you can skip those.
Well, especially like for the taverns or the tavern errands.
Yes.
Like I've never beat the tavern errands because I was like, I don't want to be doing all of these random battles for a million years to get these done. And now you just skip it and run around. And I'm like, I actually did all of them this time and it was wonderful.
Yeah. And then the other thing, I didn't know they did this until I got there, but I was like prepared to make like, oh, here's some like beginner tips videos. And one of them was going to be like, make multiple saves, especially when you get to like Lionel and Ryovane's castle. But they added it so you could leave if like you get stuck. Cause I can't tell you how many times I got stuck at WeGraph and I'm like, well, I guess the game's over because I can't leave and I don't have the right setup. But now they can just let you leave. Like that's so nice. I mean, I'm prepared because I know what to expect, but for new players that potentially would get stuck, like that's such a nice thing that they added.
Yeah.
I agree.
Even coming in as a veteran, I'm like, these are all incredible. They make the game so much more accessible and playable. Yeah. All right. We can get back to some. Oh, go ahead.
One more thing. I want to ask you this, Brandon. I played on the middle difficulty. I don't know what it was called. Night, I guess.
Same.
Night. Yeah.
Did it feel easy? Because I played it. I'm like, I'm kind of blowing through these battles. I thought there were more troops on certain fights, but maybe I just misremembered.
Admittedly, the night mode is supposed to be the like original difficulty. But I mean, to be fair, I grind and do stupid things and make crazy combinations.
Same.
So like I made it easy for myself. But when I hit chapter 4, there was a difficulty spike where I was like, okay, I need to stop just like bulldozing with my dual wielding monks. Like I need to actually get creative with some of these classes. I don't think it was anything unbearably hard by any means, but I had to actually use my brain a little bit more. But yeah, initially I was like, was dual wielding monk always this broken? Because I am just flooring the enemies. Like basically any battle that's like defeat this specific enemy, I'm like, go get him, Lloyd. And then that would be it. Like it's over. So
that's interesting that you have dual monks. Cause usually what I do is I do monk with heavy armor. And they just have like an insane amount of HP and they just never die.
That's interesting. Yeah, dual wielding monks, like they're still pretty squishy, but again, there's a lot of battles where you're just targeting a specific character, and when you run in and double tap, like it's over. You can can literally end the turn or end the battle in one turn. So
yep. That's what I do with Rams. I always have him be a knight with 2 swords, and he just does like 300 damage a turn. It's like not even fair.
Yeah. I did the level down trap with Ramza where I leveled down as a bard and then leveled back up as a mime. And so by the end, he was dual wielding and I gave him some of the best swords and he was just like tearing through enemies with like max damage. So yeah, that stuff's fun. I love doing that stuff. All right. Anyway, a lot of love for tactics. Sorry, that was longer than anticipated. But Slam, how's it going, buddy?
What up? I'm a Ghostbuster Spangler right here.
That's right.
Just, just hanging out. I came on, admittedly, as the slime. And the costume was epic. But
it was
really hot. And I couldn't wear that for the whole episode. So I changed
so
a little bit to...
When you say slime, do you mean Slimer? Like the green guy from Ghostbusters? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like a Dragon Quest slime, maybe. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
You need to dress up as that, amazing. Though. Like, that's your costume.
Cool, right? Yeah. No, I should have wore it. It would have been much cooler and more fun. But hey, look, I'm comfortable. I'm chilling now. I'm not overly hot and sweaty, so the show will be better for it. Let's just say that.
I think next year we need to find out if we can create like a liquid metal slime costume for Slam and then have him paint his face like silver to go with that. I think that's a good idea.
Slime Zany.
Slime
there
Zany.
We go. That's
Let's
it right
go.
there.
Let's go.
I love that. Yeah. One of the commenters last week said that if they took a drink for every let's go I said or anybody else said, they'd be drunk. So now we're determined to just let it rip this episode. Yeah. So you're on.
Please
buddy.
Don't drink. Please don't do that. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Hopefully you're watching this at a convenient time. Anyway, I'm playing. I'm playing all the same stuff. I played Trails and Tactics and finished those games. Loved them. Adored those games. I can't express how fun that month of September was. One of the best months of video games I've ever had, probably in my life, to be honest. And then recently I played through a ton of Digimon Story Time Stranger, and my review's up. Go check it out. I loved my time with that game. I know things are a little mixed, but the overall consensus is pretty positive on the game as a whole. I do think this is probably the best Digimon game that I've played. I'm not a Digimon veteran. I'm not like somebody that is played all the Digimon games and knows everything about Digimon, but I've played a few of the games. And this one really feels like they went all in on like a deep jrpg, right? It's got great monster catching mechanics. It's really deep, the whole evolution aspect, min-maxing, grinding, it's a collectathon. You can convert Digimon as you encounter them, and you could just catch so many and do so many different things with them. And if you're into that, this is going to satisfy that need. Very, very much so.
I'm sold. Thanks, Slam.
Yeah, that sounds like a branding game. Excuse me. That sounds like a branding game.
Absolutely,
I was already sold at PAX. So yeah, I'm all in on that one. I did manage to get the Ultimate Edition. I am struggling with the possibility of opening that because of how hard it is to get those games. So like,
yeah, for sure.
But I do want to play it so bad because I had a great time at PAX. Yeah. So I'm excited about that one.
And I did start Ghost of Yote as well. I only played like for a couple hours, but I really, really like it so far. It's nice.
It's quite relevant to the spooky season, actually. Ghost of Yote. Happy Halloween, everybody.
That's
Ghost
of Yote.
Hey, it also works with your costume, Slam, because you're a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I'm a Ghost of Yote Buster.
Let's go.
Hey,
let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, Mags.
Let's go.
Mags is truly sporting the Moogle Mags today, and we love it. It is probably the best costume here. No offense to anybody, but it's amazing. So, Mags, how are you? What are you playing these days?
What's up, Kupo? I'm doing good. This whole costume was born from a Discord poll a while back, so it was really fun to see how that all developed. So shout out to the Discord if you haven't joined. Definitely jump in there. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening and a lot of fun. But I'm doing good. It's been kind of a crazy work week, but I'm trying to fit in some gaming time as well, and I'm still playing Trails. And honestly, it's just hard for me to play anything else when there's a Trails game to play. I can't really tear myself away from it. But I'm just enjoying it. It's just, I can't emphasize it enough to see like all of these cool moments, like actually being seen in 3D and being fully realized like in a way that they always should have been, even when like they weren't able to years ago. So that's been great. I'm nearing the end, and I'm really interested to see how that all comes together. Because I played the original.
For you guys to finish it.
Yeah, the ending is quite crazy. I won't say anything else about it, but I can't wait to see how they pull it off, because I think it's going to be really good and really heartbreaking. I want to talk about it
with you so much, Mags.
Yeah, I know.
We are committed to doing a spoiler cast on Trails. I'm also playing Trails, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We will. I can't wait. To, especially you, Brandon, because you've never finished the game. And
he has no idea what he's in for.
He has no
He
clue.
thinks he does, but
buckle up.
Yeah.
No,
I can't wait to
I get emotional when that one character dies and that crazy thing happens, and
he has no idea.
You have no idea, man. I don't know what else. I don't want to say anything else, but like I can't wait to see that.
It is pretty wild to me that I came into this game being like, I put a good chunk of time into the original. I feel like I know a little bit about this, and it turns out I had only played like basically till the end of the prologue, maybe not. I don't even think I got that far in the original. I thought I was pretty far in, but I was not. So everything has been a surprise so far. It's been great.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's
I mean, I guess I'll okay. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a costume, but I promise I am. I have been told online in so many of my videos through comments that I look like James Hetfield. So I'm just leaning into it. I got a Metallica shirt. If you're not sure who that is, James Hetfield is like the main singer / guitarist of Metallica, and he usually has these bands on. And just to make sure the costume is legit and full, I have my Guitar Hero guitar with me. I may or may not, when I take my kids trick or treating, have that strapped on my back just to make it a little bit more. I don't know. A little bit more something that people can cling to, but I thought it was clever until everybody here showed up with their costumes, and I'm like, well, now I need to get a full-on like Cloud cosplay costume or something to keep up with these guys. So we'll get there
next
one day.
year.
But
the possibilities are there. So
next year, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love Mag's "Let's Go." It's the best.
I love it. Yeah, the enthusiasm drops significantly by the time it goes around. Yeah. It's like the wave.
I had to mix it up a little bit.
You know?
Let's go.
I'm also sweating and dying over here, so it fits.
If you need to take your hood off, you've already introduced the costume, so it's okay.
Hoods can come off. I think that's acceptable.
I'm committed. This is for the people. This is for
my
everyone.
Nest, so I'm not taking this off.
I don't want to
or not.
Exactly. I don't know what it's going to look like, so we don't need to see that.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah, so I've been playing Tactics again. Like I've basically already said everything I have to say with Tay. Absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely, in my opinion, as a veteran, I think this is the best way to play the game, whether you're a veteran or a newcomer. That being said, I do think there's a place for War of the Lions. I think if you play this and you're super into it and you love the mechanics and you're the type of person who loves to spend a lot of hours on a single type of game, you could jump over to War of the Lions and get a slightly different experience and have a lot of fun with it. But I think if you're choosing one version of the game to play, like this is... I can't emphasize enough how incredible this version of the game is. And I feel like everybody's hot takes that this is a lazy port, like they have no idea what they're talking about.
No.
Yeah, not even close. Like you cannot call this lazy by any stretch. So that's my take on that. And then playing Trails, back to Trails. I paused for Tactics because I went on a trip. And then once I started Tactics, I got locked in. But I'm back to Trails, and it's been really fun giving my updates and responses in our Discord. We've been chatting about it on the side. And so doing that, especially with Mags there, has been a lot of fun, where I'm just reacting to things. And then she's like, oh, yeah, just keep going, buddy. Keep going.
I don't want to say too much. Okay. I don't want to spoil anything.
I know. There have been a couple times where I'm like, is this character this thing? And then she'll just send a GIF being like, doo, like, you're not going to say anything. Yeah.
It's like, I can't say anything.
I don't know.
I do think, though, like, one of the fun things about Trails is that it is like one of those games where you're like, there's something going on here and I don't know what it is, but like I want to theorize about it. And there's a lot of opportunities to do that. So I love hearing it because, like, especially with you, like, playing through it completely for the first time, like it's just cool to see how people like come up with those theories and if they're right or not. I don't know, but I just like seeing the process.
Yeah, I had a wildly like incorrect theory because I played a little bit of Cold Steel as well. And so like there was a character with the last name like Schwartz or something, and I was like, "Is that Reed?" Yeah. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, "Oh no, that's Schwarzer, not Schwartz." Okay.
Oh yeah, Julia.
Well, yeah. It was
not quite. It's okay
close
though.
Yeah.
You've been on the right track with some things. So
I'm always like I'm like looking out for these like little details to see if I can put anything together because I have just enough experience that like there are some things that I can make sense of. But not yet.
They definitely plant seeds for future games though. Like if you've played all of them, you can notice like, oh, okay, that's funny. That's fun that they like added that, or this is where that started.
Yeah, they definitely do that a lot. And that's one of the coolest parts about the series is that they've kind of like planned a lot of it in advance. And so when you play through things a second time, you can really see the effort there. Like, oh, yeah, they knew what they were doing way back then.
I had that experience watching through the early Marvel movies. This is like a year ago or so, but like the earliest ones and being like, what? They had that way back then. Like I had no idea that they were planting all of these things so early, like even in the early Iron Mans and stuff. So I feel like it makes sense that you're Avenger Mags on Twitter because it works with Trails in kind of a weird way. So
it does.
It's all connected.
not
It's all
planned at
connected.
all, but I love that it turned out that way. Like it worked out. Because yeah, I think like Trails is easily compared to like the MCU, and sometimes it's an easy way to describe it to people who are like, what is this series about? Like I don't understand, like the games are connected, but they have different people in them. And it kind of works the same way where like the games have different characters, but the overall story is all connected. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're having fun with it.
I'm excited to keep going. Having a good time. The speed up option, I think, has been super helpful. What I've been finding is that most of the chapters start with an area that's high level. So I'll go like level up there. And then in Trails, this kind of threw me off at first. Grinding isn't really a thing. Like once you get to a certain level, the enemies don't really give you that much more experience. So it's almost not worth the time. So I've been like, getting the leveling up in the beginning, and then when I'm doing side quests and stuff, I'll like speed up through the different areas, and it's so nice to get the speed up. I'll always stop it for cutscenes and different things like that because I want to take that in. But speed up for some of the areas is pretty cool. So I'm glad that they threw that in. And actually, shout outs to Tay here because you were the one who mentioned it. I didn't even know it was a thing, and then you were like, "You can do it this way. Have a good time," and I am. So thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about some other awesome games that we can take a look at during the spooky season. If you're not, reading The Shining, which you should totally do, by the way, because that book is terrifying. There are some games that you can get into that give you that feel, and there's a range here. There are games that go from super creepy and weird to lighthearted and fun and Halloweeny, and so we're gonna run the gambit today. So Mags, why don't you kick us off with your first pick for a spooky game that someone should play during this season?
Okay, sounds good. So this one is not an RPG. It's a fairly short game. So if you're wanting to just play something in October and not have it take up a ton of time, I think it's a good option. It is Emio the Smiling Man. It's one of the Famicom Detective Club games. It's actually one that wasn't remade after they remade two of the like older games in the series. This one was developed just as a totally new story and experience. But it's a bit darker than the first two, in my opinion. Basically, it's a mystery solving experience, and you are looking for Emio, who has kind of become this like urban legend, like serial killer type figure. And so after they resurface after some time, the mystery kind of involves like tracking them down, trying to figure out who they are. Like their identity is a big central piece into the story, and kind of like why they became who they are and what they went through. And so this game can get pretty dark. Not really that dark until the end, but I would just like preface to say that it does, and it does have a mature rating for a reason. So if that's not your thing, like avoid it. But it is a really good story. It's a really good mystery, and it does tackle a lot of issues that I didn't really expect Nintendo to kind of tackle in a game. It has a lot about generational trauma, suicide, obviously like a murder mystery that can get pretty graphic and violent as well. But I enjoyed the mystery because I think it focused on why this figure became how they are and like what failed to make them into this, serial killer type figure. And so I think concentrating on that is what set it apart as a good story. So it's a great mystery. It's a great story. It's not a huge time commitment, and it's more so of a thriller, I think, versus like kind of like your traditional horror type game. So if that's more your thing, I think you'd enjoy it. So I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely got the vibes for October.
Yeah.
I've played it. I also played it this year. I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
That's right.
Yeah. I finished it. It is a nice short, and I think the story hooks you well enough to where like I think I finished it in a few days.
Same.
You do like a couple chapters a night before bed or something. Almost treat it like you're reading a book or whatever. But it is it's a really nice digestible like murder mystery story. And there's a lot of layers to it that I kind of wasn't really expecting there to be. It was my first Famicom Detective game.
Gotcha.
I don't play a lot of visual novels. And so, yeah, I was interested in it. I did give it a try, and yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it.
When you say short, how short are we talking? Like 10, 15, 20 hours?
Probably like 10.
About 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of unfolds like a lot of it is just kind of experiencing the story and reading it. The main gameplay loop is you have a menu of different actions that you can do. Like you talk to different characters, you examine an environment, you go to this location, and you have to complete it in like a certain sequence before the story progresses. And then you get to the next part. So it's not super gameplay heavy, but it has enough interaction to where like you're not just reading. So I think that's kind of nice. Like if you need a break from like a more traditional game experience where you're having to manage a lot, especially in like an RPG or something. So
yeah, that's kind of like the Somnus Files or AI, because apparently some people don't like when others say I, even though that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's got a similar gameplay loop. Although I had some things different
AI,
to it that
not
made it
when
a little
I.
bit more complex. Right, AI. Yeah,
When AI.
Right.
Yeah, because she's totally called AIBA in the game, so
Right.
it makes sense to call it AI, the Somnus Files. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that sounds interesting. I think I mentioned on the last podcast episode that one of my problems is that I have the games most of the time and I haven't played them, and that's definitely one of those. I bought it because I was like, I don't know if this is going to be rare in the future, and I'd like to get to it eventually, so I have it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah.
So that will be fun to check out. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
Tay,
stuff.
what's your pick?
So my first one I want to bring up is Folklore, one of the very
I like this
early PS3 exclusives. It's a very interesting kind of game. So the way it works is like there's two main characters and you're constantly like bouncing back and forth between their perspectives. There's one guy who's like a paranormal like investigator. He writes for this like paranormal magazine, and then there's a girl whose mother has passed away, but someone, I think that's her setup, and someone's like, oh, but she actually is in this village. So they kind of like meet at this weird village, and you kind of go back and forth between their perspectives. So he'll do his part and then she'll do her part. But the cool thing is it's like action combat, and you're like capturing monsters, and then you kind of are using them to fight with. But the kind of fun thing is like when you're capturing monsters, you're using like the PS3 controller, and you have to like whip it back to like capture them. It sounds weird, but they were gimmicky with those the motion controls back then. But it's actually pretty fun. It's one of the better implementations of that, I thought. And to me, the vibes are just like off the chart. I love it's got a very Halloween town vibe to it. Like half the time it's like nobody's in the village, but then at night, like there's these sort of like monster people that come out that you can kind of interact with. So there's these 2 times of the day. Very cool game. I don't think it sold very well. But yeah, if you're looking for something different and getting into that Halloween vibe, that definitely will satisfy that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, because I think if I remember correctly, it was like PlayStation's take on another horror RPG, kind of like a la Shadow Hearts, although not quite the same. They wanted to try to get their name in there, and because it was like early PS3 and there was like low adoption because of how freaking expensive it was, that game just like didn't do that great, because later when people started adopting the console, when the price went down, people just forgot about it. They didn't know what it was. Seemed like this niche thing, but yeah, it's
an incredibly
a super cool one.
obscure game. I remember loving it. It's one of those games I look back on really fondly. I think I picked it up on a whim, not really knowing what it was at the time, and came away pleasantly surprised for that one.
Yeah. No, it's a great one. I love that pick.
Can
Shout
it
outs
be
to
played on
Folklore.
anything but a PS3? Or is
I think
it?
it is really only on PS3. It's one of those games.
Okay.
Well,
you could play it on PC if you want to sail the high seas, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I was just curious because bringing it up, I know that can be a tough thing for folks if they don't have a PS3.
Yeah,
like some of those games are tough to play. So,
although I think I'm gonna look it up. I don't think it's that expensive. For people who like have a PS3, but didn't get this game, which is not always the case, right? Yeah, so you can get a completed box for around like $53. Like there are some others that are like lower condition without the manual that are like 30 something. So it's pretty reasonably priced as far as retro games go. So if you have a PS3, it's definitely worth checking it out, I think.
For sure. Cool. I agree.
Yep.
All right, Slam. What you got, homie?
My first game is going to be Persona 5 Royal. No,
let's go.
Okay. I'm sorry. Joking aside. Okay.
I mean, that could work.
My first game is going to be Bloodborne. So I'm not the biggest Souls person. I do play like all of them. But I'm not obsessive about them. I do enjoy most of them. There's a couple I didn't like so much, but Bloodborne, like the lore, the world building, the vibe of this game, everything going on, I still think it has the best level design in any Souls game, hands down. I don't even really think it's close. It has just such a really dark, creepy, gothic aesthetic that I just think that it does what it's doing better than anything else. Period. It and the challenge and like the difficulty and stuff like matches the kind of vibe that it's going for. You know what I mean? I remember when I first started playing that game, you encounter like this werewolf like that you're supposed to die to at the very beginning. And I just like dodged around and actually beat it. And my brother was like, I think that you're supposed to die right there. And I was like, oh yeah, that probably makes sense. But yeah, that game is really, really good. Absolutely love Bloodborne. It's definitely the best Souls game. And yeah, I still go back and play it. Like, come on. Remake Bloodborne, get it out there on
I don't know everything.
Like, what are y'all waiting for?
It gets asked for like all the time. Like, I don't know. Yeah. They know. They have to know.
Yeah,
the
they definitely know. They definitely know. They're just not doing it.
Right.
There's got to be something with From Software, like Miyazaki's like, nah, not unless we do it, and they don't have time. Because it's got to be something, right? There's no way they haven't like figured that out, unless they're holding it like for a PS6 launch game or something. But I don't know.
I mean, they could be holding it back for something. But yeah, Bloodborne, love Bloodborne. It's a great Halloween type game.
Switch to full physical. Let's go.
We thought it was coming to Switch 2, right? What was it? The Dust Bloods or whatever? Everyone was like, no way, Bloodborne on
Switch. It looked like that's what they were going for. It did.
Everyone
like
freaked out for like a second.
I'm excited
and then I was like,
for Dust Bloods, though. I'm really excited to see what that one is.
Yeah, I mean,
when is that coming out?
Sometime next year.
Yeah, next year sometime. I don't think we've seen much about it since it was announced. So
no, just the one trailer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one did look super interesting. All right. My turn. Okay, this one's going to be pretty, if you know me and you've seen my channel, like you shouldn't be surprised here, but I have to start with Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve, speaking of like short experiences, it is a JRPG. It's different than most JRPGs, but it is like a 10, maybe 15-hour experience if you want to do some of the extra stuff. It's pretty straightforward, but this game just captures like the body horror and creepy vibe like no other game. And like Aya Brea is such an amazing character. And the whole cast is just so good. Parasite Eve, if you're not familiar with this game, the whole idea of the game was that there were some scientists that we're basically experimenting with mitochondria. They're trying to kind of take the next step in human evolution, and that goes wrong. And so you have Eve, who is this like crazy mutation of these powerful mitochondria, and she's able to basically like call to people's mitochondria and make it rebel. Like the cells themselves rebel against the humans, and so they like will catch fire, they'll melt, they'll mold into things. Like it gets crazy wild. But Aya Brea has something going on. I'm not going to say anything else. Like you unravel more of this throughout the story, but she's not only able to withstand what's going on, but she can actually make use of some of the powers as well. And so the entire battle system is like running around in this little sphere, and then you're targeting enemies, and you can either hit or you can shoot. You have different guns, and you can do different gun loadouts, and you can customize the guns and all these kinds of things. I didn't ever see a use for using melee attacks. I was always just building out the guns, and there's different types of guns you can use and things like that. But she basically goes after Eve in New York. It's like New York Christmas time, so you have this like Christmas creepy vibe, like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of thing. And New York basically gets emptied. So the whole vibe is like empty streets, empty buildings. Like there's some settings where it's like, the electricity's going out and all that kind of stuff as she's chasing Eve. So it's just really really interesting. Like the mystery and the hook of the story is really interesting, but it's also super creepy. And like some of the things that just like random animals will turn into are horrifying, right? Like, oh, there's a dog that turns into this crazy thing. You're like, oh, hey, this was a zoo. Yep.
Have fun. Yeah.
Things are going to get weird. Yep. So
that does not sound good.
Yeah. So it's just so like, if you're looking for like a tight, creepy, spooky JRPG experience, like there's some crustiness to it. Like it's a PS1 game. There's a little bit of crustiness to it, but when I played through it, was it last year or 2 years ago or whatever? I was not pulled out of the experience with the crustiness. Like I enjoyed it, like from top to bottom. It was really interesting. And I went down this whole like Parasite Eve rabbit hole because apparently there's like a novel, there was like a movie that it was based off of. There's a bunch of like music that used Parasite Eve as like part of the lyrics, and there's just like all kinds of stuff you can go down. I haven't played 2 yet. I've heard mixed reviews on 2 that it's, some people say it's better because it's more like Resident Evil. Some people say it's worse because it's more like Resident Evil. But Third Birthday, I've heard from pretty much everybody. It's like unanimous that Third Birthday is garbage.
Trash.
And they just completely ruin the characters. So
Yeah. Trash.
I'm not even sure if I want to try that one. Like maybe if I'm curious one day, but I definitely want to get to 2. So anyway, I loved Parasite Eve. It was great. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's like a classic retro, creepy Resident Evil meets Final Fantasy. Also, Aya Brea and some of the other characters are like, I don't know, if Final Fantasy VII characters were in a different dimension and somehow in the United States. That's kind of how it feels. But anyway, good stuff. I love Parasite Eve. You should definitely check it out.
Definitely.
All right. Mags, what you got next?
Okay, so this one is a JRPG, sort of. It kind of has elements of an RPG and maybe like a visual novel at the same time. It's Digimon Survive. And
okay.
This game, it's a lot different than a lot of the other Digimon games that came before it. It's part tactical RPG and then part visual novel. And basically the premise is you are a student in a group of other students, and you're sent to like a camp for the summer. Sounds fun, sounds great. And then you're transported to this world where there's like evil Digimon trying to kill you. And so it can get pretty scary. I think though that like it's more tense, I guess, versus like horrifying. Because I think the scarier part, or at least the more like dramatic part of it all, isn't the fact that you're being hunted down by Digimon. It's that like this group of kids has to fend for themselves, and that leads to a lot of tension. And so watching that kind of devolve is really tough and unsettling, and can be kind of scary to see what people do when they're in desperate situations and they feel helpless. It can kind of bring out the worst in people. And so that's kind of what the story dives into. But it is a really good story. It goes into routes, so your choices do matter and they do affect whether or not some people live or die. So there is that added pressure. But I really enjoyed the story. The tactical combat is kind of fun. And it also places an emphasis, like a lot of Digimon games do, on the bonds between, the human, the person, and then their Digimon, and how like their actions can influence how their Digimon end up turning out. Whether that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah. So there's like some of the kids like bond with their Digimon right away and it's fine. And you can kind of like see like these cool bonds form. And then some of them don't. And it like can end really badly. I don't want to spoil a whole lot, but like you can kind of see a wide range of those relationships. And so that's, it's interesting to see that unfold, and it can lead to a lot of tense moments. And then also you just have like scary Digimon that just pop up out of nowhere and can jump scare you. So it's definitely a more mature Digimon experience, but I appreciated it because it was different. It wasn't kind of like your monster collecting premise like a lot of the games are. It was more story focused and more focused on like telling a mature story to people who had been Digimon fans when they were kids and had grown up and like wanted something like that. So I think it definitely fits the spooky vibes for October. It's definitely unsettling, but it's a solid RPG at the same time. So it kind of fits both of those things, if that's what you're looking for.
I find it interesting with Digimon now. Again, I haven't been with the series for like ever, but I've noticed, or at least I've heard, that Digimon's done a good job of kind of like growing with its audience. Whereas a lot of the earlier games and stuff were more aimed at like a younger audience. And then a lot of the more recent ones are a lot deeper, have much more advanced JRPG mechanics, or have like a little bit darker storylines. So I always found that interesting, as opposed to Pokemon, where it's like they really keep trying to make sure they keep that young audience in mind. And I do understand that Pokemon's still very relevant in like young people today, almost as much, if not more so, than it was back when I was a kid. But I always just found that interesting about Digimon specifically.
Yeah, it does seem like they focused on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like Legends is starting to turn the tide on that a little bit, because mechanically Legends is much more of a mature series so far. But yeah, I that's something about Digimon that's piquing my interest, because I was super into it when I was a kid. And Digimon Survive is one of those games that I have, but I haven't played. So I definitely want to check that one out too.
Yeah,
I know.
I love how like every game we talk about, Brandon's like, I have that game. I played it.
I promise I play games.
Back
I promise.
there somewhere.
It's just
it's somewhere on that shelf back there. Yeah, but it's good. I appreciate
at this point, everybody's going to be like,
Brandon plays Unicorn Overlord, Tactics, and Fire Emblem. I think he's got a genre that he really likes over there.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, you know what? Digimon Survive is a tactics RPG, though. So,
it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it actually has a good story. So there you go.
You know what else? I'm pretty sure 13 Sentinels is kind of got some tactics aspects to it.
It does really? Indeed. Sure does. Actually. Yeah.
Oh, I heard that story was mid, though.
Well, you heard wrong.
I don't know who told you that, but they were wrong.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Have you finished Unicorn Overlord yet, or did you get hit by the onslaught of?
I got hit by the
JRPG
onslaught. I'm like right at the end too.
I know, because when we were at PAX, you were playing it like nonstop. You're like, I can finish it right now. I'm like, you should.
Yeah. No, I need to.
What are you waiting for?
But I was doing everything in that game.
Yeah, so. He was grinding to
There's
the max.
a lot to do.
This guy was waking up at 6 a.m. in the corner, freaking playing Unicorn Overlord. I'm waking up. What are you doing over there? He's like, use that light from the window.
Yeah. Yep. Poor Slam. He's like, I'm going to sleep in. I'm like, all right, buddy. That means I have at least 3 hours of Unicorn Overlord time. Let's go.
Good times.
Man. Yeah. No, Digimon Survive is interesting too, because I remember when it came out, there was like, I don't know if you can call it controversy, but like mixed opinions about it, because some people were
For sure.
really into the visual novel style of things. But some people were like, I was told this is a tactics RPG and there's way more visual novel in here than I expected and not enough tactics. I personally don't have that problem. I love visual novels. I don't like get to them very often, but when I do, I really enjoy them. So I feel like that would be fine for me. So
yeah, I think so. I think maybe like the marketing might have been a little misleading. And honestly, the game had a lot of trouble development too. So I think they wanted to just like get it out when it was ready, because it had just been kind of a tough game for them to work on. But the visual novel aspects of it are really fun. I mean, you have like certain times where you can spend time with other characters, where you can investigate stuff. So there is sort of like still gameplay with that as well. And it's meaningful and it tells a good story. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good one. All right, Tay, what you got next?
So it's been a minute since I've played this, so I may have some of the details wrong, but the next game I want to bring up is Costume Quest. And this is quite literally a turn-based JRPG on Halloween night. And like you and your buddies are going out trick-or-treating and you're wearing your little costumes and you're running around your neighborhood. And your sister gets kidnapped either by like trolls or goblins or something. And so basically that's the game. You're trying to get her back. But what's really clever is like you're going around to the different houses. And so you knock on the door and it could either be a random, a battle, like a turn-based battle, or they could give you candy. And candy is like the currency in the game, I believe, is how it works. That's the part I'm rusty on. But what's cool is like when you get into turn-based combat, it's almost like it's in the kid's imagination, because like one kid's dressed up as like a robot, and so when you're in turn-based combat, they're not like a costume robot, they're like a real like Gundam robot, and then one guy's a knight, and then he transforms into this big like robotic knight type of thing. And it's just like a cool, like cute little thing, good vibes, and it's pretty short. It's only like 5 hours, so if you like are itching to play, something Halloween-y and don't want a bunch of time you don't want to dump a bunch of time into it, then I think that's pretty perfect. And there's also a sequel, which is a similar length, but not as well regarded. But and I think that first game, I know it's on PC. I think you can get it on PS4 and Xbox. I don't think it came out on Switch though. I think it was too early. That was like Wii era, I think, or maybe Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Costume Quest.
But
physical
fun little game for sure.
Speaking of actually, never mind. I don't know if you said the word weenie specifically, but it made me think there's also a hot dog costume in there that turns into like a Chicago style Cerberus, which I thought was super cool. So
oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty incredible.
I love that. Okay, it looks like Costume Quest 2 has it's a limited run, so it's probably going to be like $5,000.
Yep.
Oh no, PS4, it's only $33, at least at this listing. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Nice. Yeah, I like that one. I like that it's short and sweet. I like that it's got like the fun Halloween night kid vibes and the imagination and all that. That's good stuff.
Perfect pick.
Yeah. All right, Slam, what you got next, homie?
All right, there's a lot of games I could choose from, but I've decided to go with The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
So,
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I've talked about it before, and I know there's a lot of really, some people love Majora's Mask, some people don't. Brandon and I, though, big Majora's Mask fans.
Yeah.
And
love it.
I gotta say, everything about this game is a little bit creepy and spooky, and it's definitely the most like obscure, creepy game I think that Nintendo has made even today. I can't think of another one that would. I mean, the whole world is ending. Skull Kid is just the music there's like so unsettling at times, the different boss fights, and then just like the whole time limit aspect and how everything resets. It adds this extra layer of like being uncomfortable in the game. And it's just, if you want a game that's really going to kind of creep you out, make you feel uncomfortable, all that stuff, Majora's Mask is a really good one. And you'll come away from it feeling like you really accomplished something, because it is actually a bit of a more difficult Zelda game. And the side stories in that game, talking to like some of the NPCs and stuff, are also really kind of dark. You know what I mean? Like
they really are.
It's really a creepy game. And I go back and I revisit it all the time. In fact, I revisited it recently when I picked up 3DS. I think it was earlier this year sometime. And yeah, it's a great game. Definitely go play it.
Yeah, I mean, even like the main masks you get in that game are all from like dead characters.
Oh, geez.
And yeah, and like there's I know there's a lot of theories around this, but there's really something to be said about like the concept of grief in that game as like a thematic element of the game. Even like one of my favorite side quests, like when you're trying to get all the masks, because if you get all the masks, you can unlock the Fierce Deity mask, which is like one of the coolest iterations of Link ever when you put that on. But one of the side quests to get this mask is in the bar in Clocktown, or is it Clocktown? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
And you actually, this is a sweet reference. Like once you get all the masks, you play the Ballad of the Windfish from Link's Awakening, but it's for this like guy at the bar who's like grieving. And when you play it for him, it washes over him and helps him like deal with his grief. And he talks to you and he gives you this mask that's like him. But when you put it on and you're running around, like tears are streaming out of the mask as you're running around. It's a really weird, dark, unique Zelda that makes you think in a way that other Zeldas don't. And like I've said this before on another episode, but the whole idea of Link being the hero for the sake of being a hero rather than being remembered is so unique to this game, because every time you accomplish something, you have to go back in time and nobody remembers what you did. So like you do some of these side quests and you're like, oh man, I reunited these people that were like lovers, but like someone got a curse put on them. There's all this like crazy stuff going on, and you do it and you're like, yes, they're together. They get it. They see each other. And then you have to reverse in time because the moon is coming down and nobody remembers. But you. And so you're literally walking out of the game at the end, having like essentially saved the world, but nobody knows. And you did it because it was the right thing to do. And I love that. I love that idea of like the hero being the hero no matter what anybody else thinks. Like it's not an ego thing. It's one of the reasons I love tactics, honestly. So that's a great pick. I'm glad that you brought that one up, Slam. That was a bit of a surprise.
It was. We talked a little bit about games that we were going to do, and that one wasn't on my list, but I was like, you know what? I just feel when it comes spooky season, I've got that Majora's Mask vibe going on, so wanted to talk about that one here.
Yeah, especially like the Stone Tower and stuff. Oh man, we could just go on about Majora's Mask. It's such a good game. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll get back to me, and maybe we'll do a couple of bonus ones after this. But the next one for me, I could have gone with a number as well, but I'm going to go with Shadow Hearts and Shadow Hearts 1. I know everybody will talk about Shadow Hearts 2 as kind of like the best of the trilogy, because it kind of like hits this middle ground. But the reason I want to shout out Shadow Hearts 1 is because it's so much darker and scarier and creepier than I anticipated. I started it up relatively recently, because I'm always on a retro collecting spree, and so I finally managed to get the entire trilogy and Kudelka. And Kudelka I want to spend more time in, because there's a lot going on with that game. But Shadow Hearts 1, like, the story like kicks off really, really dark. You have, your main character, Yuri, and he's like on this train and you're trying to like save this girl. And the bad guy is just like, I don't know, there's like guns being fired and limbs being lost, like that kind of thing, like blood everywhere. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. Like this is a JRPG. And it just gets really dark. And then you get into Yuri and you're like, oh, Yuri's being haunted by demons in his soul. And part of the game is like, as you're doing these battles, you have to basically go in and like fight off the demons before they overwhelm you. And if you don't mechanically in the game, like there are certain demons that will come out in the real world, not in your mind anymore, and they will attack you and they will probably kill you. So you like constantly have to keep the demons at bay while you're continuing through the story. And it's just like super interesting. Like one of the most amazing experiences with this game was like it's one of the first villages you go to. You go in and you're like, oh, something seems off here. People are a little bit weird. And then like nighttime hits and you're like, oh, they're trying to summon like an evil demon god and they're all trying to eat you and kill you. And they're actually all goblins. And the most hilarious, the most hilarious thing for me,
just a little off.
Yeah. One of the most hilarious things for me was like coming to this realization, like I was grinding a ton in that area and I was just demolishing everybody. And so it was just kind of like this funny, like, oh, I came into this demon village and they're trying to kill me, but it turns out I'm the demon because I'm just slaughtering everybody. So that was a lot of fun, because, grinding is fun and that's something that I enjoy. But this game is so interesting. It's got such an interesting story to it. The whole concept behind Yuri and like overcoming his demons is also super interesting. There's a lot more that I could get into, but I don't want to spoil anything. And I just feel like if you're looking for like a classic turn-based JRPG mechanically, it does have a really unique like ring system when you attack where you have to like hit in certain spots to actually execute the attack. But otherwise it kind of feels like a classic like PS2 turn-based RPG, but it's got this really, really dark vibe. And yeah, just a lot of crazy stuff. Shadow Hearts is an interesting one to take a look at. Now, full disclosure, and this isn't a spoiler or anything, but there are some characters that are super weird. Like it's got that, I don't know, like early 2000s like Japanese vibe with some characters where it's like, okay, why is this happening right now? Like to get some upgrades to your weapons, there's like this creepy dude that will like give you a massage, and like if it's a male character, they'll like react to it like no or something like that, so they like leave it to your imagination. But yeah, so there's stuff like that in there as well that's like super weird and very Japanese, but it's a super cool game, so I think that one's definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't got to 2 yet, but I want to get to 2 as well. But 1 is really interesting.
2 is
I've heard
great.
that 2 is not as dark.
It's not as dark, but it's still really dark. I mean, it's still pretty dark. I love Shadow Hearts 2. I think it feels much better to play. The mechanics are a lot more. They did a lot of great quality of life stuff to the game to make it just more fun and better to play. But yeah, both great games. So underrated, honestly.
Yeah, Shadow Hearts 1 is like so dark that saying Shadow Hearts 2 is not as dark tells me that it's still probably going to be pretty dark.
Yeah, it is. It's still pretty rough around the edges. It's still got a pretty twisted story for sure. I have another one.
Okay.
Soul Sacrifice on the PS Vita.
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody played that one.
No.
But that one is a dark, twisted, creepy kind of twist on Dark Souls meets Monster Hunter meets some weird, twisted story that's just completely off the wall and insane.
Interesting.
I really like Soul Sacrifice. That one was a good one.
Okay. I haven't. I feel like I've heard of it, but I know nothing about it.
I can't remember who made that game, but I feel like they have some
Look it up.
I think it was Keiji Inafune. His Concept, I think, was the name of his studio, and they sold a level 5, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's who made it, and Sony published it. I want to say.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Developed by Marvelous and Japan Studio and published by Sony.
Marvelous. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. I played that.
Huh.
I was traveling a lot for work back then, and I remember just playing that a lot on planes and wondering if the people sitting next to me were like, man, what is this guy playing? My God.
Yeah, it's pretty gory. If I remember, you're, it's in the name, but you're like, aren't you like pulling limbs apart, or like you're using blood for something? Like, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, okay.
And dying
what's wrong
is
with this
part
guy?
of dying is like a mechanic in the game that kind of,
Oh, it looks like there was a Japanese only follow-up, Soul Sacrifice Delta.
Yeah.
I think Delta came out here. I think it was like an Ultimate Edition type thing.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I can't say 100%.
Yeah, these screenshots are super weird. Wow. Okay. This has got like Shin Megami Tensei and Shadowheart vibes in terms of the designs and things like that. Huh. Okay. All right. That was a good one, Slam. Thanks for calling that. That puts us at 9. So let's make this an even 10. I don't know, Mags. What you got for give us a last one to round it out.
Okay, so this one's actually interesting because I was thinking about it for this video, and then some folks in the Discord started talking about it too, and so I was like, all right, maybe this is a good one to bring up. It's called The House in Fata Morgana, and it's a visual novel, and honestly, there's not a lot of gameplay to it. It's a lot of reading. It's all reading. But it's probably the darkest story I've ever read. Hands down.
Really?
Yes. And I honestly had to take breaks from this game because it was very traumatizing. So just a warning that it deals with a lot of dark subject matter. It's kind of like a gothic horror-esque story.
What's it on?
So it's been on a lot of...
It's on everything.
It's on a lot. It released in Japan in 2012, and then it has come out, it was localized and it's come out. I think the most recent release, which is what I played it on, was Switch. And that was 4 years ago. So you can play it on Switch. And in fact, that edition has some additional story content in it. And it's kind of all in the same game.
It's the Dreams of the Revenants edition, I think, was the Switch one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it had some additional content that happened after the game or after the base game. But essentially the premise is that there's this cursed house and you slowly see why it became so cursed throughout the story. And it's told in a non-linear way. So you're not really understanding what's going on and why certain things are significant at first. And it's a really well done story. There's crazy twists and turns, but it's brutal. It's very violent. It deals with abuse in families. It also deals with just some occult stuff. So it has a lot of dark themes, but it's definitely an October game. And it does tell a really well written story that's very satisfying if you see it through to the very end. I would just say if that's your vibe, you'll love it. But if you're not really into super dark stories, I would stay away from it because it can be really intense at times. But overall, the art's beautiful. The music is beautiful. The presentation of it is top tier. And the story is too, but it also has minimal gameplay. So that could also be kind of something that may appeal to people, may not, just depending on your level with that.
Yeah, I have to be in a certain context mood for those.
Mm-hmm.
For context, this game is sitting at a 96 on Metacritic.
Wow.
Yeah, I know exactly which one this is. I do. Everyone keeps recommending it. I know. Yeah.
It's that good. But
to be fair,
it's hard to get
user
through.
user reviews are more mixed. I imagine because of lack of gameplay or just people being like, oh, what is this, right? So it's interesting that you bring that one up because I have the physical copy of that game, which is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I've wanted to crack that one open, but because of how expensive it is, I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm assuming you can get it digitally, yeah?
You can. I reviewed it for Nintendo Force, and I was able to get a code, I think, or may have gotten it digitally. I can't remember.
Would you
but,
give it?
I gave it an 8.5, I think, because I felt like it was really good, but it was very hard to get through. And I think that I wanted to preface that because like this is a game that like you need to mentally prepare yourself for to get through.
That's
and
fair.
I don't want to discourage people from playing it at all, but I just want to like make sure they're aware because it goes to some really dark places.
Yeah.
So
I honestly, I something that I found. So like I grew up in a pretty, and I don't want to say this to like throw any shade at my parents or anything, but it was a pretty like fundamentalist Christian home. So like very anti, Harry Potter and anything dark. Kind of a belief that like the horror genre in general is just very demonic, and I feel like there's probably some truth to that, right? But something that I have found as I've gotten older, especially reading Stephen King books, is that horror has a really interesting way of drawing out realities and stories that are more spiritual and that we don't normally get in a normal story. And like an example of this is, not that this is a book podcast, but an example of this is The Shining. It's why I brought it up. Because you have this incredible story that just asks the question, like, is it the character or is it the spiritual, right? Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Like, where is that line? Is there a line, right? And it's such a fascinating book. It's terrifying. It's so well written. The movie adaptations and stuff just don't do that book justice. And that was really the first time, or one of the first times, I was just like, man, like there is so much you can do in the horror genre from a storytelling perspective that is just so interesting. It's so much more deep. And I've really appreciated that. But, with Stephen King too, like I have to be in a mood, right? Like I have to be like ready and prepared for it. Because I'm a little bit of a baby. And if I read Stephen King while I'm in bed, like I'm going to have trouble sleeping, right? So there's some of these games, even Shadow Hearts, I'm like, I need to play this when it's nice and early, and then I need to go for a walk to clear my mind. Like, but I do really, really appreciate what they bring to the table. And that game in particular, I know enough about it because I did some research before I bought the physical copy because of how expensive it was. That's the type of game where I'm like, I feel like if you go in prepared, knowing that it's going to go places, like what you would get out of that is probably really, really good and interesting. So that's definitely what I'm interested in.
I would definitely agree. It's worth seeing through to the end. Just, make sure you're ready for it.
Yeah. Is it pretty straightforward in terms of story? Like, are there any branching paths or anything like that? Or is it just, have the experience?
There are a few multiple endings, like based on choices that you make, but it's very clear, like which one is like the real, like kind of true ending, I guess, in a way.
Ending, sure.
Yeah. So, you can kind of go through it and it'll be pretty clear. It's mainly a straightforward story, but it isn't told like in a linear fashion. So you're going to get things out of order that you have to piece together. And that's one of the like biggest draws of it for me, is that it was told so well in that way that like when you would get a twist or a big reveal, like it would mean something because like you've been like kind of fed pieces of it up to that point. So yeah, it's good.
Okay. Ooh, I'm not normally a digital person. Obviously I have the physical copy, but when something is that expensive, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should open this. Like, if digital is cheaper, maybe I'll just get that so I can leave this one alone.
Yeah,
it could be on sale at some point. You never know. And
true,
that's true.
You can find
just
it
grab
somewhere.
it, and then you don't have to open that physical copy, and you're good.
Yep, just hold on to that sucker. I'm gonna look it up right now. eShop. Don't mind me. Carry on the conversation. I'll be back.
So, Mags, how's it going over there in the Moogle Mags costume?
I'm sweating a lot. But we're almost done.
We're making it through.
Yeah,
Toughing it
it's all
out.
good. I have a lot of water over here, so we are good. I'm not dehydrated. So
Staying hydrated.
I forgot to tell you that we're actually going to do a top 20. Let's go. We're going to be here for another hour.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Y'all can handle that yourselves.
Oh man, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that was a great list. I know that there's a pretty limited amount of spooky, like especially RPGs, but there are so many other games that we can get into. Like Slam pre-show mentioned BioShock. Oh my gosh,
great one.
Like that game is so good. Again, loved BioShock because the story goes places that like other games typically don't, right? And I have a great appreciation for that kind of thing. So there's so many others we can get into, but let us know in the comments what games you would recommend for spooky season, October, Halloween, and beyond. And we would love to hear and maybe even try some of those games. Chances are I already have it. I just haven't played it. So one of these days we'll get there. All right. But Slam, where can everybody find you?
Slam Zany on all the things. If you were interested in any of the JRPGs that have released over the last month, because there's been a lot of them, I have reviews on just about every one that I dropped recently. So go check it out. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, Slam needs to recover now.
Yeah.
Get some rest, Slam.
All right, Tay. Yeah. Where can everybody find you?
Over on YouTube at The Gaming Shelf. I just dropped a top 25 modern JRPGs. So that's been fun to put together. One of my longer videos.
That was a great video.
Thank you.
I watched that and I loved that video. That was so good.
Thank you. Yeah.
So go check that one out.
It's a long one, so you buckle up. It's like 35 minutes, I think. So you have to get some snacks and chill for that.
That's exactly what I did. I just sat there.
Exactly what I did.
And watched it. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah. No, good stuff. You can also find Tay either in a pizza parlor or in your sewers, your local sewers. Doing some
Being a radical
ninja
dude.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mags, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Avenger Mags on Twitter and Blue Sky, probably tweeting some unhinged posts about trails. And then you can also find me in Nintendo Force Magazine. Yeah, every day. It is what it is. So if you want to see that, follow me. But also in Nintendo Force as well. We're working on our November / December issue. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Shout outs to Mags. I don't know. I could probably have some, reference to where you can find Moogles as well, like in a tree or something. But
sure, we're
mostly,
everywhere, Kupo.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I love that. I love that commitment. And I'm Retro Brandon. You can find me at Retro Brandon on YouTube. I'm at Nova Brand on Twitter. Because it was difficult to get my actual name in there. So that's where I'm at. You'll still see all my Retro Brandon stuff. And you can otherwise see me hanging out with my dad, James Hetfield, because that's the real twist of this entire episode. I'm actually the son of a legend. So you're welcome, everybody.
I knew it.
That's going to start something. Somebody's going to believe me. So no, it's not true, but it's over. They clicked off and they believe me, and now we're going to start spreading rumors. So, all right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us on this one. Enjoy spooky season. We'll have more content to come in the coming weeks, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
See you on the next one.
Later.
Bye.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's really go. Bye.